This is Off the Break Podcast, presented by Silver Screen Insider.
Welcome to the Off the Break Podcast, your podcast dedicated to current movie theater news, operations, and insights from the people that book the movies. I'm Ken, and with me as always, Cody and Kyle.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. Good. Glad to see you guys are back, safe from your vacay.
Yes, we went to the great state of Utah and explored the desert.
Ooh. Treacherous.
Treacherous?
It's been a day.
Yeah, it's been a whole week.
It's been a whole week, apparently.
Yeah.
Treacherous. How do you say it? All right.
Treacherous.
It's over now. It's fine. It's very dangerous.
Yeah. It was really fun.
Spring breakup of marriage 2022 is what we called it.
No, it was awesome.
I didn't want to bring it up.
Part of our journey, we stayed in a yurt on a mesa overlooking this beautiful desert plateau, and that was really, really fun, except I had to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to start a fire because I got cold, so that was not as much fun.
And you woke up everyone else to do it, right?
Yeah, but guess what, they were happy because they too were cold.
Cody got cold in a desert.
I did. It gets cold at night there, people.
You wouldn't think, but
no,
but not for Ken, apparently.
No, it's called a sleeping bag, and just go to bed.
A really, really good sleeping bag.
Yeah, and then we went to Zion's and hiked around, and that was really fun. Me and it felt like a million other people, all just sharing the same trail. So
oh yeah,
interesting there. And I ended up buying a bunch of furniture that I probably shouldn't have. So that's the break up the marriage part.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
It wasn't the campfire.
It wasn't the yurt or the awesome hiking. No, it was I got really excited and found a favorite store and was like, we need outdoor furniture even though there's still snow at home.
Right.
Well, it helped that we snuck down to Nevada and won some money at the casino.
Yeah, that paid for our gas for the day. So
The day?
Well, and you still barely made it back.
yeah.
It's bad out there, folks.
Stay close to home. Go to a theater.
Yeah. To go on these long vacations.
Walk to your local movie theater.
Yeah, I might need to now.
Ride a bicycle.
So speaking of movie theaters, how about we get started talking about release date changes,
Yeah.
our fun topic on this show.
Sony!
So where would we be without Sony moving stuff around on the release schedule?
Thank you for this
We'd have to
content.
delete this topic.
I know. If Sony went away, we'd lose so much of our content.
Yeah.
They've given us 5 episodes a year
Yeah.
of content just with the release date changes.
Glorious content.
Sony!
So Sony's Bullet Train moved from July 15th back to July 29th. So not very far, just moved back. Mm-hmm. But then they moved Where the Crawdads Sing up from the 22nd to the 15th, which makes a little bit more sense because that puts 2 weeks of Crawdad into Bullet Train. So that's nice now that they're not back to back like they were before. So
Yeah, and I also like the Bullet Train move only because I think it gives space for some of the other bigger blockbusters that might be topping off the first half of July. And then in August, what do we really have of notice?
it gives it more of a runway into August.
Yeah,
So,
and if Bullet Train does become a new franchise starter, maybe a John Wick level type franchise would be awesome. I could see it working well throughout most of August.
Now that Black Adam's not there, it's a spot that is a big grossing spot at the end of July that we need something there.
Yeah.
And at least it's got name brand actors in it.
Right. Which Black Adam did move to next year, I think.
Yeah, it moved way off.
Yeah. So it's not going to have much competition now, that's for sure.
No. So I think those were good, decent moves. That nothing earth-shattering that really screws up the release schedule. So
yeah. So despite us making fun of Sony with this category, good job, Sony.
good job.
Yeah, we approve.
So going into this weekend, we've got Lost City, and Ken and I went and saw it yesterday for midday dates.
Yeah.
Which is going to be a new thing now because that was really fun. But as far as any booking strategies coming up, we've got, just Batman holding in there, coming down off multiple screens, down into probably one. I've got Lost City opening this weekend, and I think it's going to be a really strong opening. We'll talk about it in our review coming up, but it was really funny, and it was really fun, and there's nothing wrong with it. So I think it's going to have great word of mouth. And then next week we've got Morbius, and I know that Sony is hoping that it plays more like Venom, and I am really concerned about it though, because I don't feel like we have the momentum coming off Spider-Man like we would have if we would have been in January when it was originally supposed to go. So I'm a little concerned about that one, but I think it's still going to be big, and I think it's still going to be a good grosser, and it's going to start off our whole April of tons of product. Like, this has got to be the strongest April I think I've ever remembered.
Yeah. I mean, even pre-pandemic, it's a pretty good lineup.
Yeah. And then we've got Sonic, which on April 8th, which is going to be huge. The first Sonic, I think that you look at the overall box and you're like, oh, that seems kind of weak, but we forget that it ran right up into pandemic closures.
Yeah.
Like, it was still in theaters, still going strong when the pandemic shut everything down. There was probably 2 or 3 more weeks in that film that we have lost revenue that we're just not seeing in the overall gross when we look back on the first Sonic. So, and this one looks even better. I'm more excited because I think there's people are aware of what Sonic is now. They know it's going to be good, and you're introducing new characters. So I'm super excited for Sonic.
A little too excited.
You think?
No, I think it's going to be
Jim
great.
Carrey. He looks so good in that.
Well, we haven't had this is our first family film since Sing.
Yeah,
like
that's
we
true.
need this badly.
Maybe that's why I'm so
I think that's why
excited
you're
for
so
it
excited.
too.
For the
'Cause you
Booker
can
side
finally-
of you, yeah.
We can finally take Sing off screen. That's why I'm excited.
Get it out of
Get
there.
it out of there.
Finally.
And we got Fantastic Beasts, and I'll say that this last trailer that came out, it made it look so much better. Like, this trailer to me helped make it look like something I should actually want to see on it.
Okay.
But still not as enthusiastic, knowing that the first 2 were ruined. But I think they're dialing in the marketing a little bit better.
But Mads Mikkelsen takes away some of the goofiness of Johnny Depp, so you don't focus on that. You just think of him in the preview as a wizard. He's just a powerful wizard.
Right.
There's no...
He fits in better.
He doesn't have any of the stigmas or any of the weird stuff around him. You don't see him and like, there's Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
With like bleached hair and a wonky
Yeah,
eye.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I'm glad they showed more of him though, because you did need more of a villain to enhance why you want to see this film. So
Let's just hope he stays.
yeah,
Let's not have another change. Let him be the guy, and let's keep going.
Hopefully Mads Mikkelsen hasn't groped anybody in the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. No
Keep your hands to yourself.
Don't be weird, guy. Don't be weird.
and then we've got after that. Gosh, what do we have?
Bad Guys.
Bad Guys. That's
Another
right.
family oriented film. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm really looking forward to. And then we've got like Northman and the unbearable weight of massive talent.
Jeez, that's at the end of April too. That's
Yep. Yeah.
right. Every single weekend
Then
has something.
wrapping up April,
Yeah.
Liam Neeson in Memory.
Yeah.
I saw the trailer for Memory, and I was like, "Didn't this movie come out already?" And then I had to check back, and it's almost the same movie. Yeah,
In
just
every
Liam
movie,
Neeson.
Liam Neeson has an impeccable mind, and this one, his mind has betrayed him. so
That was the difference.
So this is drastically different from the other movies in that he throws people through car windows and shoots people. and
Drastically, of course.
tries to protect children and very different.
Sure. I didn't notice the differences. But okay, Ken, I believe it.
No, so the biggest issue we have with April is just finding enough screens for all the good content. And I'm struggling, and it's a good struggle. It's a real good struggle, because can you really make a bad decision? I mean, you're going to pick something that's going to hit the mark on everything. It's just, how can I balance to get it all in? Because you can't really play stuff off the break anymore. Like, all of the money is made in the first couple weeks. If you can't get it on screen in that time, it's just almost, you got to really question if it's worth bringing in later. That's the tough part.
If it's Universal, if it's a smaller film company, it's on streaming 17 days later.
Yeah.
So you're missing out. If you can't get it on screen, it's not on screen.
In some cases, it never gets put back on screen. So, or it's just not worth it to bring it in at that point. So that's been the biggest challenge for me right now, is just trying to give enough screens and enough seats. And, because it's easy to say like an 8 screens you can fit everything in, but you want to give multiples to some of these things because they're big films. So yeah, it's gonna be a tough April, and then we start May off with Doctor Strange, and
May's a little bit of a desert, but it's a blockbuster desert.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like March, except with bigger films on the front and back end.
I'd
Exactly.
say May is very much like March.
We have a superhero movie to start, and then, a nostalgia movie. I would say more of a nostalgia movie with Lost City, with Sandra Bullock coming back, and romantic comedy.
Oh,
and,
I see.
And then Top Gun.
Yep.
Yeah. Not that they're the same in any way, but it's a similar audience.
Similar layout, similar audiences.
Yeah.
You get 3 weeks of Doctor Strange sucking all the business, and then you get like Top Gun, and that's gonna suck all the business. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it'll be good. It'll be good for the industry.
I'm excited we're getting into product, and it's not summer, but it's getting warmer. I saw little flowers starting to bud through, and I'm like, okay, there's hope.
Come on, little guy.
Yeah, come on. We'll get through this.
Well, did you see what the Lost City previews were last night?
Like 2 million.
2.5.
2.5, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Thursday previews were strong for that. I mean, they were trying to compare it to Sandra Bullock's last like Ocean's 11 or 8 or whatever she was in.
Yeah.
And had $4 million in previews. That was pre-pandemic. I think a $2 million post-pandemic early show preview night is really strong.
For a rom-com.
Yeah.
Which that
everybody
doesn't happen.
pretty much wrote it off.
Yeah.
That genre in general. And
it's like a Netflix genre now.
yeah, but Ken and I went, and it was so fun. We laughed this whole movie. Daniel Radcliffe was amazing as the villain.
Yes.
And Channing Tatum is actually a really funny actor. Like, you forget that he's really funny.
He's got good comedy chops.
Totally.
And Brad Pitt was in it for a whole like 5 minutes, and his 5 minutes were stellar. I mean, I just wish he was in it a little bit longer. He gets taken out pretty quickly.
No, most
probably
these-
has like a bid, right?
Yeah, it's more of a bit role, even though they like put him as a main actor. It is just a bit role.
Gotcha. What were we gonna say, Ken?
Yeah, no, it doesn't have any of the slow parts that romantic comedies usually do. It knows it's goofy. It knows it's silly.
And I wouldn't really like it. Like, when you say romantic comedy, I always think like you said, there's slow parts, and there's a lot of like lovey kissy scenes,
Awkward dialogue.
And it's awkward, and then there's a lot of mooning for somebody, and there's just not a lot of that. This is more of like a romantic buddy movie.
Mooning for someone?
Yeah, like mooning over someone.
Swooning.
Not swooning. Mooning.
No, I think
for
it is
them.
swooning.
You just
Yeah.
moon someone? Is that how you get? Is that how you?
Well,
Now that I
there's
think of it,
some
that's how we
that.
met. There was some mooning.
Not how we met. I don't know who you were meeting.
I was talking to
That
Kyle.
not me.
I was talking to Kyle.
Oh. What kind of office is this?
It's
Totally
It's Fun Friday.
unprofessional.
Yeah. There's Kyle mooning again.
Kyle,
Oh,
keep your
Kyle.
pants on.
Oh, so I actually thought it was enjoyable. It was good. The action wasn't crazy. It had all the funny quips. Like there were extra lines thrown in, which made it more reminiscent of the comedies of the early mid-aughts.
Yeah.
Where there was like they threw in the extra, like they made you laugh, and they threw in the extra line that made it better.
Right.
And that
Their
was
dialogue in it was really good.
Yeah, and everybody in it. I mean, Daniel Radcliffe. We knew he was going to be good, but he was so over the top.
Oh, good.
He was so over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes me happy to hear about Daniel Radcliffe, because I really enjoy him as an actor, even besides Harry Potter.
I think pre-pandemic, this was an easy like $50 million opener. And they're targeting it between 25 and 30, which is a solid number. We haven't had a lot of those.
I think that'll be great, especially with Batman coming 3 weeks off. I think that's very possible.
I think it's very possible, and I think it just proves that even romantic comedies can still be a thing now. Like, there's a narrative that mid-range comedies and dramas and stuff like that. Mid-range content doesn't work anymore in theaters. It's either like superhero movies or nothing at all. But I beg to differ. I think when the movie's really good, like this one is, with really good dialogue that's really funny, that there's nothing like awkward or political in it or anything that would turn an audience off.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's just a good time. It still works. It still really works. And it was fun to be out, and perfect date night movie for sure. I think guys will really enjoy this.
Yeah, well, as a guy, I'm actually looking forward to this movie a lot, maybe even more so than, I don't know, something in my wheelhouse like Ambulance or Morbius, something like that. So I really hope I get to see this weekend, because I would love to support a good little rom-com.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't underestimate fun movies right now. I think audiences really just want fun escapism. I don't think they want anything too dark and gloomy and stuff. So I think if you can provide that, that'll be good.
Yeah, hopefully. I know a lot of the releases right now are holdovers from the last year and a half, but hopefully moving forward, studios will recognize that what we need is fun entertainment. We don't necessarily need serious stuff for all demographics.
Right.
It needs to be more fun, because that's what we really could use right now.
For sure.
Well, we had fun this week and tortured Cody. I thought I would get to torture her with 2 movies, but she went her own way on one, which
Did.
she took a hard left turn, which Kyle and I would obviously expect here. Like Cody trying to get out of a punishment by choosing something that's punishment adjacent.
Right.
And
That sounds about correct. Yes.
so which of these
Well, let's start with the first one that was actual torture for me, like cringe torture, and that was over the top. I thought going into this, an arm wrestling movie with Sylvester Stallone, I'm like, okay, I can handle that. Like, this isn't going to be that bad. Ken's just messing with me here with this one. No, it was so cringe for me. The mother dies in it. It's a little boy who's like obviously struggling with like issues, and this like cold father, and it just, they have this awful dynamic because he's never been around, and abandonment issues, and this like grandfather that's obviously overbearing. I mean, but you don't completely hate him because he does love his family. It's just ugh. It was just awful for me on so many levels. The whole interaction between the boy and Sylvester Stallone, the father, that dynamic was just, it was toxic to me. I did not like it.
Right.
And then the mom dies, and that just killed me. And I'm like, why am I watching this at all? This is, this poor little boy is just,
Great choice, Ken.
yeah, is just lost. And then, okay, so that's one half of this movie. That is like the underlying foundation of the movie. And then the other part, the icing on the cake, so to speak, is this arm wrestling, like, script where it's like, he has to arm wrestle to get the truck of his dreams because he's a trucker, and he drives an old truck, and he really wants to prove that he can take care of his son, and he just prove that he's somebody, and he's a good man and stuff. And so he arm wrestles people, but he like gets into the arm wrestling mood by like turning his hat backwards, and he's like a different man then, and not to mention all the greased up biceps.
I can relate.
There's so many greased up biceps, and it is just not believable that Sylvester Stallone, as tiny as he is, and he's jacked in this. I'm not saying he's not jacked.
I was going to say.
But there are men in there that are like the mountain size from Game of Thrones. Just these huge trucker men, and he's like, wha-bam, and then beats them and stuff. And I'm like, how are you not getting your arm ripped out of your socket during this? Like, the whole thing was just really hard. I was like, how did they fool people in the 80s with this movie? How did they fool them?
Because that was the genre of the 80s?
Oh my gosh. It was just, it was rough. it was rough. He got the fancy truck in the end, if anybody needed a spoiler.
But that watching that movie was your punishment for which bet again?
This was Spider-Man.
Yeah, not making
all the way back from like November, so we're finally going full circle with that bet.
With that one.
So now what about the Batman bet? Well, and that was
the double down.
Right.
I still
okay.
need to double down on the
So
Spider-Man.
she still
bet.
owes me Shenandoah,
Yeah.
starring Jimmy Stewart, and that was from Spider-Man.
That's
I
right.
still owe a Shenandoah.
And then because Batman came in and wowed audiences with its over a $100 million opening.
Yeah.
Shocking.
No one saw that coming.
except for every box office analyst in the world. Cody has to watch
Cody.
Batman the movie 1966, which is available on YouTube for free, so she could have easily pulled it up and watched it.
Right.
But instead, she decided to watch the original black and white Batman.
From 1943. I even showed Kyle it today. I'm involved.
So she emailed me because I sent her our outline of this, and I mentioned that it was gonna, or no, I didn't write in that there was gonna be a Batman review, and I assumed it was just gonna be the 60s one. But you typed in response to me, make sure to add in the Batman 1943 film, and I was like, that's a weird typo, but okay. And then, sure enough, she came into the office and she was like, you gotta watch this.
Yeah, I strangely got into this movie.
Okay.
I will say, you have to really overlook the racist language in this movie. It is from the 40s. This is obviously racist dialogue. This is not something you would ever repeat today's standard, and I'm not going to criticize and censor the movie because I'm looking at it from a 2020 lens.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't
2022, by the way.
Yeah,
but
2022 lens. Sorry. I won't judge it with that stuff in mind. I'm just looking at what the general plot of it was, and it is all of 3 hours. Not only is it black and white, it is 3 hours long, but you've got Bruce Wayne, he's got a lady gal pal love that works, he's got his Dick Grayson is Robin in it, but it's shocking. There are no Batman doesn't have gadgets. He barely has a bat cave, but he drives around a regular car.
Mm-hmm.
It just happens to be like Bruce Wayne's regular car. And he doesn't have any gadgets, but the bad guys in it, all of the fun gadgets. They have brainwashing machines. They have these ray guns that blow stuff up. They have secret doors. They have codes. They have chemicals to, take people out. It's just so much stuff is going on. There's scenes on a train. There's scenes at a dock. There's scenes in a mine. It takes you all over the place. It's shocking how much is going on in this. This is 3 hours, and I felt entertained the whole time, whereas Ken barely could get through 3 hours of new Batman.
I think I figured out why it's 3 hours long.
Yeah.
I believe that this was a serialized series that would be shown in theaters.
Yeah.
So from what I'm reading, it's a 15 chapter serial.
Yeah. Okay,
But
makes so much sense.
Yeah, because it's the 40s.
Right.
So
they wouldn't
to
have had
technically
reels that long.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
go to the Nickelodeon and watch a 10-minute movie and then
Right.
go smoke a ton of cigarettes and then go back in.
No, you would just do it in the movie.
Yeah. And there are definitely scenes where it fades and then it fades back, and then there was only one part so far where it just leaves you on a cliffhanger, and then the scene comes right back up. So I know that it's it's over 3 hours all put together, but
Yeah.
But there's a lot in it. It's really surprising.
I guess that's why maybe in the 40s it was so beloved, because they were like, this is intense. I can't wait to see what happens next.
It is something completely new each and every section. They are at a
Batman
new place.
goes to a mine? What
To
on
find-
earth is going to happen?
To find the guy that has a claim that's going to start a mine there. He hasn't registered his claim yet, but it's a uranium mine, and they need the uranium for the ray gun to blow stuff up because they want to take over the United States government and start a new world order.
So as you continue to expose
so much is
the
going
story of Batman 1943, you still owe the audience and me 2 movies, right?
Yes, I still owe the audience and you.
Yeah, but
Shenandoah. I will say, though, I've enjoyed Batman 1943 version. Even though it's super long, it paces so much better than Cottonmouth Jimmy Stewart. That, to me, will be pure torture, even though it's an hour less.
unlike the actual serialized versions when they were in theaters, Jimmy Stewart's voice feels like 3 hours long every time he speaks.
So
slow.
wrapping up, instead of American acting icon Jimmy Stewart, Cody prefers racist Batman.
You heard it here first,
put
folks.
It that way. That's terrible, Ken. I prefer the 1943 version of Batman minus some racist dialogue in it. Very racist.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thanks for clarifying that, Cody.
I'm not going to downplay how gross that was hearing certain things said.
I mean, I'll give you this. Most Batman fans, no, all Batman fans have not seen the 40s movie.
Yeah.
At least you can say you have. You still need to see The Dark Knight, but at least you've gone out of your way to see this one.
Yeah.
So I'll give you that props.
The only Batman movie she's seen that she remembers start to finish is the Robert Pattinson one.
Yeah.
That's the only one.
Yeah, but now this is like the second one, and no one else can say that, Ken.
They've only watched the first and the last.
All of the nerds who always complain about Batman not being perfectly right, they're not watching this version.
It's like watching...
He doesn't have any things. He actually threw a rope.
It's like watching Star Wars 4 and Star Wars 9.
Yeah.
Which, weirdly enough, Cody has done.
Yeah.
But only those two.
Yeah. But I'll give her props.
Yeah.
Even I haven't seen that one.
Thank you, YouTube. It was right under the 63 version, and I was like, I'm going to try this one first.
Well, that was a very Cody heavy segment. Let's go into the Kyle heavy segment this week.
Okay, Kyle,
oh boy.
This is all on you.
All on me.
You have done on Silver Screen Insider an Academy Awards poll. And so any subscriber can go in and vote for who they think is going to be the winners. And how is that going so far? Because it's still open. You can still go and vote, correct?
Yeah, it's going to end until Sunday. We're going to be posting the results of not only the winners, but also correlating the percentages of people who voted for each nominee within each category, each big category, I should say. So best picture, best director, actors, that sort of thing. And, we just thought it would be a fun way to just include all of you theater owners and operators into, just enjoying movies for what they are. This is supposed to be a special event, a special time. And I know us on the podcast, we have our gripes about the awards, yes. Rightfully so, though. But it's still supposed to be a good time, and we still wanted to treat you all with something a little special. So if you haven't yet, you can find the link. I'm sure we'll link this up with this episode, but you can find the link on silverscreeninsider.com as well. And you can just join in on the fun and check out the Oscars as well.
Check out our social media pages. I think Facebook and Instagram, you did some pre-results on there to see where the voting is leaning towards right now. And I thought that was super interesting. Mm-hmm. Kind of like what you expect. I think everybody's kind of expecting Power of the Dog to win, or for Best Picture, but not director. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. So far right now in the community poll, it seems like Belfast is taking the lead, which I'm not too sure if that's correct. But then again, I think this Best Picture race is so murky because there's not really anyone that's saying that there's a standout. I say, for me, I hear a lot more about The Power of the Dog, but only because I think Netflix is really pushing hard because they're taking advantage of this year that's not very competitive.
By murky, do you mean convoluted and boring?
You can word it that way.
Yeah. That could be some words I'd use to describe it.
Be a lack of Spider-Man. I could word it that way. So even still leading up to this, I do think Power of the Dog could be the winner, but I don't feel very confident about it just because there really isn't any, no pun intended, dog in this race to really, take this award easily. Yeah. Like, personally, I want Coda to win, and I feel like it's actually being the front, the second movie behind Power of the Dog right now, but I wouldn't be shocked if it was Power of the Dog.
With Coda, they haven't done any theatrical screenings other than where organizations have requested it, special showings. But they didn't let theaters just showcase it to general audiences, which I just think is bizarre. And so part of me kind of doesn't want it to win because they kept general audiences out of this
independent
picture.
theater can't book it and play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that was a misstep on Apple's part. I think they kind of were too overly confident about their own subscription streaming service, and they were thinking everyone was going to flock over to Coda. And it is slowly building momentum. I mean, it's gotten to this point, but to be in the awards, but I think it would have really benefited for audiences to go out to the theaters to see Coda because it really is one of those movies that's feel good, but has like an emotional story to it, and not one to where you necessarily relate to it, but one to where you want to be understanding of it and compassionate for.
Right.
And that's a story that I think everyone should go out and see.
And it's
No,
a
and I
story
think-
that hasn't been told before.
Yeah, and I think it would have been perfect for general audiences. It would have been that kind of secret little underdog story if it wins that you could have gone out and showcased next week and been like, look at this one. This is special. This is why we have these things at the Academy Awards. And
Yeah.
but then Apple just doesn't let anybody book it independently. It's just
Yeah, I mean, which I think is a mistake. Had the Academy Awards released their winners sooner, then March could have been the perfect chance if Coda won to be able to release
Right.
it back to theaters, and then people would be like, oh, I kept hearing like this is a very good movie, and it's not like necessarily an Oscar Beatty type movie too. I kind of want to see what all the fuss is about, and then they would come out and rave about the movie.
right, which would help that Oscar. It would cement the win even more.
Yeah.
You know, if you could then go out and then audiences were interested in it, it bumps up the life of that film.
Yeah.
But having the Oscars at the end of March now with April so packed, nobody's going to bring any of these movies back in. Like very few locations are going to bring
Right.
any of this back.
Right. Anyway, so moving on, while I think The Power of the Dog winning Best Picture is likely, but I'm not fully confident in it, I am fully confident that Jane Campion, who directed the movie, will get that win. Which, I mean, I thought the movie was fine. I didn't
Yeah.
particularly love it. I think a better winner probably could have been like Steven Spielberg for West Side Story, but right now I just see in the landscape being that she's got it locked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing with Will Smith for Best Actor. That's your stone cold lock of the week.
Yeah.
It's not even I cannot tell you enough that this is not in his top 10 for on-screen performances.
No, but it's like it's time award. It's
Yeah.
time for
It's
you.
his Revenant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably a good way of phrasing it.
It's it's
Who's going to win for the Best Actress?
I think it's similar to Will Smith actually with Jessica Chastain for The Eyes of Tammy Faye. It's feeling like she's the front runner, and it's feeling like the It's Time award. Like there's so many opportunities for her as an actress to where she could have been nominated, let alone win.
and
I mean,
Olivia Colman's won before her, and
yeah. Although Olivia Colman to me is a dark horse. Like to me, she's a dark horse, but I do think it's going to go to Jessica Chastain.
it's like if she won, it would be a smaller version of the faux pas last year where they gave it to Anthony Hopkins instead of Chadwick Boseman.
Right.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, well, wait a minute.
It seems like a bad idea.
Can we go back to that? Oh, jeez. So anyway, moving on to Best Supporting Actor, I see it being Troy Kotsur for Coda.
That's who I've heard across the board.
Yeah, there is no one else
There
in this
even-
category. At first I thought it was Cody Smith McPhee after
'Cause
seeing The
he
Power
won-
of the Dog.
Didn't he win an award? Like, was it a BAFTA or was it a?
Something
I feel like
that.
he got something.
Yeah, he
in
was-
the award season.
He was
for his
picking up
performance.
steam.
He won a bathtub.
A bathtub. Well,
That was the trophy.
Oh, sweet.
A very big trophy.
That sounds cool.
I hope it was gold.
Oh, of course it's gold.
I would take a bath in a gold bathtub.
Who wouldn't?
That'd be awesome. That'd
Yeah.
be a great award.
Yeah, but somehow the tides turn, and I think it's going to wind up being Troy for Coda. And I think it's because he is excellent in this movie. But I think another aspect is that, like you were saying, it's kind of the underdog movie. It's a little engine that could in this awards race. And so just seeing the landscape, I wonder if people were thinking, or if some of the voters were thinking, Coda should get something. And if it's not going to get like Best Picture, then maybe we could at least award it this guy who was superb in the movie.
Right.
So, yeah, I see it being a scenario like that.
Nice. Well, we'll have to post all the poll results early Sunday and see how.
Poll results against the winners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See how everybody does.
Yeah. And for supporting actress, I think Ariana DeBose is going to be the winner for West Side Story. And the community poll also thinks that. And I think the film circles online are also thinking that as well.
Oh.
If you dance in a movie, you deserve like extra bonus
Does
points.
she
Extra
dance and
props.
sing?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she's great.
Okay. Then
Yeah.
you deserve all that.
I mean, this is the La La Land category. You get to win if you dance.
Yeah, that might be it. I mean, the supporting actress race was very. I don't know. I didn't think it was
Murky.
very murky. Excellent job. And it could have been like Kirsten Dunst for Power of the Dog, but I think you're right, Ken. It's more of this actress in West Side Story is, singing and dancing and being lively and amazing while Kirsten Dunst is crying and being sad a lot. So I think that's the way it's heading for that.
Oh, well, do we want to go into the trailers now? Or do you have another one, Cody?
Well, just a little piece of news. Amazon looks like it's finally going to get close to acquiring MGM. It's an $8.5 billion deal, and MGM's catalog of 4,000 titles and 17,000 episodes will now be part of Prime and Amazon Studios. So
Yeah.
I think, there's still a few little things to work out, but I think that's getting close. Now, I don't think that includes James Bond, or the control of it doesn't include the James Bond franchise, which I think still sits with the family. But it's a big deal, and that's a big buy on Amazon's part.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, well, for Amazon, it's pocket change, but yeah, that's just kind of how these sorts of deals have been happening. Like the numbers always get higher and bigger, and more and more it's becoming a little less competitive, which you don't like to see. But I only hope, with some of their theatrical titles from MGM, that Amazon takes that into care and,
well, Amazon
goes with.
has been better than other streamers with
It's true. Yeah.
doing theatrical, at least after it's come out on Amazon. So
Yeah, but pre-COVID, they
Yeah.
had a lot of releases with Windows, and
Yep.
so they know how to do this, and they have a team in place. And
Yeah, they were closer to having a team. I think Amazon and Netflix are the closest to distributing amongst theaters. So doing theatrical distribution, they're the ones positioned, I think, the best for that to get into it.
Yeah, I
But
would
they're-
agree with that.
But they will always still focus on streaming, and that just takes this content and puts it in that realm, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. We'll just have to see how it all moves and shapes out as time goes on, but you don't feel good.
Yeah. So, trailer time.
Yeah, let's end with something fun. There was 3 big trailers: Ambulance, Where the Crawdads Sing, and Puss and Boots: The Last Wish.
You said that funny.
Did I say that funny?
Butts. Puss and Butts.
Puss and Boots.
Puss and Boots.
I'll have to go back and hear that.
All right, well, I'm going to surprise everybody this week. I had a favorite trailer, and it was Puss and Boots.
I did too,
Okay.
because that's the only one I saw.
Is it up to me to talk about the other 2?
Yes.
Oh,
Why
great.
don't you start with that, and then we'll tell you our
make
thoughts.
Where the Crawdads Sing
Yeah.
short.
I'm sure it's faithful to the book I've never read. It's coming out in the summer.
End scene. Nailed it. All right.
I think I was out. I don't think I got to my seat in time for the ambulance trailer when we went
Nope,
to.
it's
So
just
I missed that
a
one.
big, dumb Jerry Bruckheimer movie, and they've got, Jake Gyllenhaal leading it, so he can bring in some lightheartedness to this rated R action movie. They have a couple of scenes that are supposedly funny while they're robbing a bank and shooting at police officers.
Yeah, he's serious, but with a little bit of cheese, and I can't help but want to see the movie only because of that.
Yeah, and
I like it.
There really has to be a plot to this thing to make it work, because they are injuring hundreds of police officers in this
Yeah.
trailer. There has to be something very redeeming for them to be doing this for.
And with Michael Bay, it is not going to succeed.
Most likely not the case.
But it looks very action-packed, and I like Jake Gyllenhaal, so why not?
Yeah, it's just Transformers without the robots.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the best way to describe it.
I saw Josh Duhamel, so that's what I went with.
Just replace Gyllenhaal's beard with Duhamel's beard.
No, I thought I
and
saw
you
it
got
pop up in the trailer.
I mean, I wouldn't be
It
shocked.
was like a police guy out of uniform.
I could see it. Why not? Bring him back.
All right.
So, what do you
And-
think of Puss in Boots?
It was Shrek-tacular. I thought it just hits. It's just boom, 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 boom. Like there's not going to be a lot that's in the movie that's not in the trailer.
Yeah.
Like, but for just perfect kid entertaining.
Yeah. I
excitement.
thought the concept where he had 9 lives and he's used up 8 of them and he's literally on his last life was a genius concept.
The trailer shows him killing himself
Yeah.
7 times.
And he's like, "Oh, let me count." And it's like all these death scenes,
Shows
and they're
him
all silly.
drunk on milk diving
Yeah.
off a tower.
Oh, that's that Shrek humor we love.
It's just that, that little like cup of adult humor in it that makes it like I could take the kids to this.
Yeah.
Right.
I've got something to look forward to.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why I'm so excited about Sonic.
And Antonio Banderas has a great voice.
He has such a good voice for this
for
character.
that character, yeah.
Yeah, he really can do no wrong.
So that was the fun end of
No, it was a good.
way to, it was a good trailer to have on Lost City too. Like,
Oh, it played during that as
it
well.
did.
Nice.
It did?
Yeah, that's why I
fell
went and saw
asleep.
it.
I saw it on silverscreeninsider.com.
Oh,
Where you should have.
where
seen
I
it,
should have
Cody.
looked at it. Yeah. Whoops. I'm gonna have to use silverscreeninsider.com to check out the Where the Crawdads Sing because I'm not sure what that one's about at all.
Oh, I have no idea either. So sorry, everyone.
It's a swamp girl and she falls in love, and then
there's
somebody dies off a tower,
Yeah.
but then they fingerprint the tower and find no fingerprints on this tower.
Are you sure you didn't watch the trailer?
I did watch the trailer, but it's like a lookout tower with 17 flights of stairs up to the top, and a small town sheriff's department like, we fingerprinted it. There's no fingerprints. Like, it would take the FBI a month to fingerprint this tower.
That's a lot of stairs.
There's one guy with his belly hanging over his belt.
It's like, well, we tried.
We tried. We looked. We looked all over. There's no
we
way
checked
There's
twice.
no way this guy went to the top.
No. I'll give him the second story and be like, no, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, nothing down here.
No. Case closed.
No reason to go up there.
I really got to check out this trailer.
I know. It was.
I feel like
They
you're
should-
describing a movie that
It
is
reminded me
completely
of-
different than what I'm going to see.
No,
in
they
this
showed the whole
trailer.
scene.
It reminded me of one of the After We Fell
Oh,
kind of movies.
Oh my gosh.
After we collided, after we met.
Oh, I
something
hope
like that.
it's not. I hope
It
it's not
reminded me of
that.
something like that.
Oh no, that's not good praise. I'll give it better than that.
those movies were terrible.
Yeah, this one actually looks well made at least.
Oh, it's very well made.
Yeah.
You can tell like the sweeping panoramas and the swamps and everything. Like it's very well made, but it's not for me.
No.
I'm going to be commenting on it, 10 minutes in.
You're never gonna find the prince.
asking about how this girl has straight teeth as she walks out of the swamp at 14.
Yeah.
She doesn't talk like this.
Suspended disbelief, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Off the Break podcast. You can find us on all podcast platforms. Oh, and be sure to like and follow our Facebook and Instagram pages at Off the Break Podcast.
Mama knows how to grill a gator.
And on that bombshell, have a good weekend.
Bye, everyone.